G'day everyone, another Cafe Racer project. South Africa decided to use a XS1100 Yamaha. Of course, buying a bike, not running. I had a couple of problems buying the bike. Of course, it didn't want to start. Ignition was stuck. Didn't want to push. Every time I pushed the bike, even a neutral, it battled to push. So of course, first thing I had to look at was, of course, the solenoid. The solenoid was a little bit stuck. As you can see, the solenoid is situated on the side of the bike, where eventually all my wiring is going to be underneath the seat, as most people do with the Cafe Racers, to have that nice open clean look on the side. Of course, the other little problem I also had was the main fuse. So the main fuse was blown, and as I say, I still couldn't start the bike or get it to turn over after I started the bike. After I replaced the main fuse, I didn't actually have any further problems. Also, of course, the key was lost. So the first change to do on a Cafe Racer, when you do it, you start cutting it and changing the handlebars so you can have a plus minus look, how the bike basically look before you actually start doing anything further. As you can see, I've got these little drop handlebars. Not very happy with the handlebars. Eventually I'll just throw it back on the market. As you can see, there is also a little pirate part, ignition switch. As I say, the key was broken off in the ignition and I couldn't get it out, so I just replaced it with this pirate part. As I say, as the handlebars I'm going to throw back on the market and actually get clip-ons so I can move my shocks up a little bit, as my front end is a little bit too high. So you can see, of course, the solenoid pirate part that I use. I bought it locally. Of course, the first thing by starting Cafe Racer is starting to cut the bike and get your bend at the back to get a nice shape. Afterwards, I use a two-part foam. As you can see there, my two-part foam raised quite nicely. Very easy to work off. You someone use a bread knife to cut it. You start working it off till you get your nice shape. As I say, the material is actually quite soft. You use a bread knife and a little bit of sanding paper to actually get your shape. And there's a two-part foam. I'll show you guys later stage how it basically works. As I say, once you got your shape, there you can see the foam shape. Of course, it's a very soft material, so you want to harden it. So what I've done is I use normal universal resin it to make it nice and hard to get a nice shape. But of course, the resin also eats a couple of holes here and there. So what I've done afterwards, I have taken some body putty. I'll show you basically now what type of body putty, a lightweight body putty, as you can see there, and I basically skinned the whole seat. It's a little bit of a sticky, but work it off to a nice shape so you're going to have a nice plug. Afterwards, we start preparing for making the mold with the plug. There you can see the red is the releasing agent that I use. It's also a local releasing agent, works very, very well. There we also started with a gel coat, putting the gel coat up before we can actually start doing the fiberglass. One mistake I of course made, I tried to make a one-piece mold. It didn't work so nicely, so I had to cut my mold into two. As you can see there, I just duct tape it together to actually make and manufacture my seat. Making the seat went actually much easier than I thought. Most of the stuff I basically watched on YouTube, except listening to the people by making a two-part mold and not a one-part mold. Of course, nearly finished. As I said, it came out very nicely. A little bit rustic because of the tape marks. As I will show you guys just now, I've at least did about 5-6 layers to make it a nice and thick. So you guys can see, just messing around still with the resin. It is actually a very time-consuming job. As you can see with the tailpiece, got a bit of imperfections in, but nothing body putty and sandpaper cannot fix. Well guys, this is the end of part 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it and see you later.